3 more games remaining to determine who is going home with their pretty damn fair share of this prize pool in the Open Wingman Series, the Americans style, I guess you should say. I'm Toby, joined by Saint, and we have had the pleasure of taking over for Demon and Hayes, and they're kind of not really leaving us with a whole lot. It seems like Cadets have kind of already run the tournament.
Yeah, it's, I think we can say who's won, but there's still all to play for. That's second to 16. Obviously, top half makes money.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, even coming into the last game, I think every team in this lobby has a chance of at least making it to 16th, at least making that little bit of cash. So,
sure,
there's still all to play for. First place, unachievable unless maybe you win the last 3 games and you're already in second place. But it's still...
Yeah, it's a race, and not only that, but you also need to make sure that the team in first place, Cadets, would go out early with the 0 points.
Not gonna
I
happen.
mean, now they just had 2 wins in a row, Miramar, and we're playing 1 more Miramar, so I'm thinking that's not going to happen.
I mean, we've seen one other team so far across all of GLL Wingman 9 get 3 in a row.
That is true.
Is it time for a second one? I think I can see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. If you go back and look at the 2 previous games, they were the teams to take the crucial compounds. I mean, yes, circles went there, but even in the game where they didn't get the circle off of a compound that could have been that nice center compound, they still managed to push over to the one that then became the center compound and wanted to offer there. But even though they won the game, the Cadets, Orion actually surpassed them by 3 points, given the fact that they had 11 kills. That is very impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, especially today, when we've seen teams get a lot of kills, we've seen one player on that team, maybe as a solo, just start getting winning 3 1v2s in a game or something like that, and racking up. But Orion, it was 6 and 5 on the team.
Yeah,
it's mightily impressive to see them equally split, both working together. They both made it to the late game, and in my opinion, they should have won that last 2v2. But when you're against Cadets, like, if there's one team in this lobby that you can sort of say, you know what, fair enough, you're just a bit better than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the team you lose to.
At least they've shown that they're worth it right now. Oh, my lord.
That's ridiculous. They're nearly double second.
95 points. They have 20... Wait. They have 19 more kills than the team second behind them. And look at Check Shooter in 17th place. They have as many points as some of these teams have in kills in total. I mean, looking at this leaderboard, it's insane. Average Joe, they had an insane day the last day of the week on a Rankle. I'm hoping to see them step up in the last 2 games, but it's just the race is kind of already over. I mean, not for prize pool at all, but that first place is just so far to reach for everyone.
I was looking at that, and from 10th place to 17th to check and top, 5-point gap.
Yeah.
We've got 8 teams there battling for, I mean, 10th is still a chunky point of money. So, like, 1 win.
There's a ton of money, yeah.
Yeah, 1 win, and you could go from, like, 20th all the way into that top 10. So, yes, we've decided the winner. Like, that's
I think it's out of the picture, unless if somebody does something absurd.
If VSG wins the last 2 games, maybe. Like, they would have to win last 2 games with kills as well to even have a chance. But, like, putting that aside, everything else still to play for. Obviously, we're tied for second place at the minute with 2 teams on 54. So, those 2 teams battling is still a big chunk of money for second place.
Well, I'm curious to see, for sure. I mean, with Jason and Krupp, 2 of the guys we were just talking about, an Average Joe, what they can do here in the... It's just... I didn't see much of them on the first Wrangle, or the first Anarch. Then I didn't see much of them on Miramar. But then all of a sudden, they just came alive on a Wrangle, like kills every game, and I think they had a win or 2, and just... They were doing really, really good on average, and... Well, unfortunately, today hasn't really been their day, and now they have a little ways to go for the circle.
And you know what else surprised me? Thomas and Alditz, we saw when we were commentating them on Miramar, they were the best team on Miramar.
For sure.
Like,
for sure.
dominated our Miramar section of the league.
Yes.
And really, I mean, yes, they're doing okay. They're in the top 10 at the minute.
The unfloor guys.
Yeah. So it's not the end of the world for them, but as a team, given how dominant they were in the league, I was expecting them, especially on these Miramar games, to really step up and really start pushing themselves up the leaderboard. And it's not quite happened yet.
No, they can. I don't know. You can't really say they've come off to a tough start because we're already at game 10. So the start is over a while ago. The start was over yesterday. But I agree. They did show pretty good performances on Miramar in the groups. It's just, I mean, I don't know what it is they did to avoid the Cadets back then, because I feel like that's maybe your plan. Because if you play around the Cadets but don't fight them, for the most part, they will take all the kills you could have potentially had, or take all the fights that you could potentially have taken. And if you're scared of engaging, or if you have a compound you don't want to leave, then you're just not going to get anything. And if that's the case of them, I mean, I don't know exactly where they played off of how the cadets did in the last 2 games, but it was very compound heavy up on that northeastern side. And if you don't get a compound there, force out into the open, have some of these really good shooters sit in compounds in the comfort of big walls, no matter how good you are, you're just not going to make it.
I mean, I remember back on those Miramar games, there was one time when cadets met Charles and that was southeast of water treatment in the final 2v2. And I think it was Shinboy 1v2'd them in the end, like from a really disadvantageous position, just 1v2 them out of nowhere.
Correct.
So, yeah, I think that's definitely worth pointing out. Is they were sort of relying on other teams to take out cadets, and then to sort of mop up what was left. And because that's not happened tonight, because cadets have woken up and just started stomping games, I think maybe they've not been able to come online as we've seen them in the past.
Yeah, that's a very, very possible reason. One small thing, and it's again, I like to kind of pick into the small things that I see. Mardones, when he was silent pulling up on that building, let's just hold that thought for a second. I think HVC is going to throw an 8 over towards Lush.
That's speculative, I think is the best way to put it. It's not quite going to land.
No. But when we saw him crash that building, it's a fun thing, but normally what people do, they do the sound pull-up, press set, turn off the engine, roll down to the building, and then they press S to brake. But actually when you use S to brake, you turn on the engine again.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is make sure you use the handbrake. It does sometimes spin you out a bit if you're turning at the same time, but if you want to do those silent pull-ups to perfection, hold down spacebar instead of using S, because that way you don't turn on your engine again. Also, when it comes to a stop, it doesn't go like it just completely silent. So just a small hint of advice. Just
school with Toby.
Press spacebar. Yeah. PUBG Playbook episode 5. Press spacebar. That was the episode. That was a very short episode. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was a good episode.
Yeah, it was good. Very, very concrete. Very what do you say? Condensed? Not condensed. Very
concise.
Yeah,
the word you're looking for.
Yeah. Exactly. Quality over quantity, right? Isn't that how it is? Yep. 3-second episode. Press spacebar. That's also the title, so you don't have to watch the video.
Just look at the video.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's all we needed to know. Trinity is going to find himself under fire just on the northern side of Chimacera. Seems like he's driving straight through Tess, but no. Okay. I guess maybe he survived that. I'm not sure exactly how he was allowed to drive straight on through Tess there.
I would expect maybe Taz was in a building and didn't quite notice it until it was a bit too late. Otherwise, I have no idea. He's on the compound like slightly raised.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of awkward to beat that, because if you run to the ridge and there's someone like 100 meters to your north, they're just going to pop you.
True.
So you always have to be a little bit scared when you're up there. But it's still, I mean, you'd think he'd land some shots.
Yeah. Hirkwan and Trisk, they're going to get themselves into, some call it endemic compound, some call it phase or fuzz phase compound. I just call it circles all the time compound, because that's essentially the name of that area. Slush, iron sights M4. Not optimal for taking people out of vehicles, but we've seen crazier before. Unfortunately for him, doesn't really happen.
Yeah, it's definitely not the gun you want in that situation. But I mean, there's worse.
The gun is decent, but
yeah, in that situation, nah.
Yeah. Can't really do a. I mean, you can do a hell of a lot of damage.
You saw Page do it.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
with a holo.
Yeah,
true. And there was even more distance to it as well. Seems like HVZ and Lopes, they're on a stroll with their bike, trying to find a more center position, and I think they will crash over towards the concretes over here on the just north side of where Madrones is. Everyone's left Picado. No one's in Chuma. The big cities have, for the most part, been evacuated. Only Montano Evo still houses players, and that's Rat and his teammate Snakers. Why stop where we were before? Yep, there you go. Double kill, and they're going to get an orm off of that too. That's...
Well, I mean, that was probably the easiest 2 points they got all night.
Yeah, not only do they get 2 more points,
and an orm,
but they get an orm and they will streak it.
Yeah, it's
as if they didn't have it easy enough already. I mean, they don't. They make it look easy. That's the issue.
Yeah.
So what they do is incredibly difficult.
Oh. It's one of those ones where you're hoping everyone else gets the crates so we can get a more balanced lobby, but instead it's they're piling on the misery for everyone else.
Feeding. Stop feeding everyone. They're already fed enough.
sometimes it just goes your way. I mean, cadets are making it work themselves, but I mean, we've seen them get some nice circles. Yes, when they didn't get the circles, they've exploded.
That's what I've said. Yeah.
When they're up at the top of that leaderboard, you can't just do that off luck.
It's like what we talk about when we see other teams get a lot of circles go in their direction. You would like if you see that and you go, oh, that team was just sitting in the middle, they got a circle. Okay, well then try and rewind 3 minutes and see what they did to get that spot. Did they know the circle was going there and therefore fought for it? I mean, yes, sometimes you just sit in the building and you're lucky that the circles go there. That can happen. Everybody will have those games. That's why we play so many games. Or else PUBG would have been best of 3s instead of best of 18s. If it was all complete fair for everyone. But more often than not, teams know which compounds have the bigger chance of getting circles and bigger, and therefore more teams will value them. And teams will gladly, I mean, maybe not so much in duos, but at least in squads, teams will gladly sacrifice one player in trying to get that position they know will grant them a top 5 placement. And you will actually see it in duos to some extent too. And I know for a fact that one game, Snakers and Shimboy, they did exactly that. They knew we need that building because if not, then we're going to be the ones caught in the open. We need to crash that right now. They killed the 2 guys in there. They took the building. I mean, that's how it is.
And the thing that I often see is that if you have players that know that that's what you need to do, but don't quite have the mechanical skill to do it, you see them often. They're the people sort of towards the lower echelon of the leaderboard.
True.
Like even if they have that great macro knowledge, the strategic knowledge that you need in the game, but players like Snakes and Shimboy, I mean, I put them up there with the best
they just
in terms of mechanical skill. Like they go for those crashes, and normally when you're crashing, you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But they always turn it around, and that's why we see them so far ahead in the leaderboard.
That is true. They managed to make something out of nothing more often than not. Now they're gonna have a very good position once again. This circle, though, I don't really have a name for it, but there's a mountain path that goes from Mountain Nuevo over to Picado up to San Martin, and that is going to be right in the middle of this. And the main issue is that if you're sitting on the south side of that in the open, in the compound, you can't scout anything up it. If you sit up there, you can't scout anything down it. So if this next circle doesn't keep going center, half the teams essentially will have to scout in like blind with teams next to them if the next circle goes on any either southern or northern edge.
Yeah, this is always like one of the circles that people hate.
They're awful.
Yeah, because
you have no way of playing it. Yeah.
I mean, you commit to south or north, and you play your odds.
Or you go Snakers and Shimboy and play both.
Yeah, if you can get control of the ridge, yes, it gives you the best vision. But once the circle does go north or south, it puts you at a real disadvantage, and you're essentially one of the teams trying to get in.
Also, you only get vision by letting other people getting vision on you.
Yeah.
And if you sit in the middle, you essentially open yourself up to both the sides, which means potentially twice the amount of opponents will have a chance to look towards you. Crop does find Lopes. That's them trying to breach a compound. Didn't really succeed in doing so. And now you can see the winners. I mean, I guess technically second place team from last game. Tassonator and Dark Dreams under fire from La Bombe and Tetra.
Yeah, Dark Dream is one of the EU hopes in the NA Opens.
Imagine being European and playing on South American servers right now.
Yeah,
it's like 300
I think
ping.
I'll pass, actually.
I think it's honestly somewhere around 200 something.
It's got to be over 200 for sure. But yeah, I mean,
driving in that, no wonder they crashed.
But I mean, still, I love the fact that we have these. And we see it more in the Pro one when we have players like Stab playing.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, we have a team, Crispy and Wheezy. They're going to be playing on SA servers. I talked to them. We're like, Toby, you know what? We're done playing. We imagine us. And I was like, yeah, that's going to be fun. 300 ping. I don't even know if you have 300 ping. Do you have the peekers advantage when you quick ping a corner, or is it?
Yeah, you have the peekers advantage, but you stay peeking after you've stopped.
But that doesn't matter because you can't trade. So if you get the kill, then he won't.
Yeah, as long
even
as you get
see
the kill,
before
you're
you
good.
get the
But if
kill,
you don't get the kill, someone else.
Then he has more
gets to
time
shoot
to
for
kill
free,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. Okay.
So like it's one of those ones where you only peek.
Gotta get it.
Yeah, you only peek if you're confident that you can do something with it. But I mean, we see people abuse it sometimes, where like they know what they can and can't do because of the ping.
Yeah.
And they'll use that to their advantage. But we also see people that know the person they're versing has bad ping, and will then adapt to that. Because if someone peeks you when you have bad ping, they also have a peaks advantage.
That is true. That is true. And that's also why whenever we're spectating somebody in game, if you see a clock on the left side of your monitor and you're thinking, what the hell does that mean? It's not an overlay from us. It's an in-game signal from, I think, the game trying to tell the observers, you're kind of far away from the server. And it's like, yes, we sit in Stockholm, Sweden, and we try and broadcast the game that's being played somewhere. And I don't even know where the South American servers are. I would assume Argentina or Brazil or something like that. But it's pretty far away. And I think that's what the game is trying to tell us right now.
About half a planet away, to be precise.
Essentially, yeah. So let's see. Circle. Ooh,
Fairly
it does go south. And I know there's some mountains that it probably wants to avoid in the next circle. So, I'm thinking it's going to continue to go down here.
And we can expect players like Tazum and Blitz to be central next circle. I mean, unless it goes really far southeast.
Yeah.
At which point, like, the edge of Picardo becomes quite strong. Places are sort of where Hade's coming in. But, I mean, apart from that, you're thinking those teams that are already sort of central are going to be in a really strong position.
We have 13 out of 24 teams outside the circle right now.
Yeah, I think this might be where we lose.
I was going to say, how many players are we losing here? Last time we completely underbet, thinking we overbetted. I could imagine 20 going down here. I'm going to say 27 alive when the circle's coming so close.
But the good thing with this circle is there's still a lot that you can play. Yes, a lot of these teams have to come south, but they don't necessarily need to be below the mountains yet. They have to do the next circle. So maybe we'll still see above 30.
Yeah.
As some of those duos on the north side, yes, they can't get in, but they can at least try and survive an extra circle.
See Shinboy and Snakers, our current first place team. They just crashed the building again. Not afraid to take these fights when they have to. They know they don't have a lot to play around, so they've got to commit. And it's risky, but they believe in themselves in that regard. LDN, or LND, FPS, spotted by Tazum, but not able to find the shots there. Seems like Sorter will be able to escape as well.
And this is where we see the perfect example of what to do and what not to do. LND and Zoro just sent it and just went and just said, hopefully something's free. And if nothing was free, then they just get completely split off. I mean, they're both crashing different compounds at the minute. So, Shinboy and Snakers had a plan in their head. It was like, this compound, we'll just crash it. If there's someone there, we kill them. Whereas this duo, they're just so disjointed as they sort of Hail Married and hoped something was free.
These guys crashed. They drove past the building, allowed for them... I'm so confused. They drove past the building and allowed for them both to spray like madmen on towards them, and now they turn around and come back? I mean, in all fairness, they whiffed everything, so maybe it was like, oh my lord, these guys suck. Let's breach them. And then now Tazum went down as well, so Blitz, you gotta do this one by yourself, but Trinity can see you. Now he's down to 44. I mean, if this pays off, if he actually gets the flush on towards him, because it was Tazum that knocked Soren up on the hill, so he might actually be able to get it back up if LND can find Zoom fast enough.
And the good thing now for LND is that he knows how the player's knocked, because they will have been watching the kill feed. Yeah. So they've seen that the indirect trade came in as Tazum got knocked by someone else.
And Soren is crawling towards the houses as well, so he might be able to get rest if Taz don't come out and flush him before that.
Somehow we're still above 40 players.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
I mean, we do have 2 knocked. We have 2 in the blue.
Yeah.
So
I would have thought that. I mean, maybe
I think it's this circle where everyone's going to die, because all these teams on the southwestern side below the road, they're all going to be going. All the teams on the north of the mountains, they're going to be gone.
Does he know it? He must know where they were, right? I mean, he threw a nade right on their feet, pretty much.
Yeah, but it becomes sort of that point where it's been so long since the knock come that he sort of could have called anywhere. He could have called all the way to the building at that time if he wanted to. I mean, he didn't, and we can see that. But, I mean, that's not something they can know.
Lush does go down. Snaker's able to find him as if they didn't have enough kills already. Managing to find the knock pretty much across the circle. Hey, this is like, where the hell did those shots come from? And why is it them?
just sort of peek and just look around, spot a guy, knock him. Easy as that. It's just ridiculous. But somehow, L&D and Zero Aurora Grounds are now back up. I was saying about how it's what not to do, but it's actually almost worked out in the end.
Yeah.
I think maybe out of a lack of aggression from the duo that was already there, they sort of allowed L&D to pull up.
I will put it this way. If L&D tried to do that 20 times, he would succeed that one time.
Yeah. And I think it was all down to the fact that as a duo, if they'd pushed out, cleared L&D out, Zoro would never have crashed.
Yeah.
And they would have got a free kill, and then they would just be able to go back to their compound. But because they allowed the crash to happen, they waited too long. Now they're being forced to share a compound, which is really designed for one team.
I mean, in all fairness, they just whiffed everything. I think we can be honest. I mean, sometimes you gotta call away for whiff, and that was multiple of them. Oh. Seems like Tazinator has been caught in the blue, and I do not see him getting anywhere away from here.
I don't think he has time to med. Does he make it?
I doubt.
He does. He makes it.
There's a car.
He makes it.
No, you cannot. No.
Oh, he got
dead. He got headshot.
He can make it to.
No,
he's make it in.
He's dead.
I believe. Allow the belief. To be fair,
don't misguide the viewers.
He could have actually swapped seat and bandage. I think he would have made it. But
no, it's phase 4 closing into 5.
But just one bandage would have made it there. I think.
Yeah.
The car would have just kept rolling. But I mean, it's one of those things where if you're thinking of that in the car, in that situation, the only time you're thinking of that is if you're us watching from the
Yeah, most likely.
observing.
I think there's quite a lot of other things going on,
Exactly.
including Palms' Sweaty Mom Spaghetti. I mean, I don't think he had too much he could do there. Shimbo and Snagers, they won't see themselves satisfied with the warehouse. They want the houses on the east side too. So therefore, they're taking a fight to Nakwarshik and Elif.
It's one of those positions now where because they're so far ahead, they can start to be more aggressive, start to take even more
They
risks than
shouldn't
they
care
already
about
do.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just playing for fun at this point, playing to beat their own records. So I mean, there's a very real opportunity, like very real chance that if they get one knock on that team to their east, they just go for it.
Tetra goes down, shut off the vehicle, and of course having some speed still on that thing. Manages to be not enough to flush the knock. Low boy. Oh, he should. There's a bike. There's a. Wait.
Low boy?
Reaction time? Hello? What's going on here, guys? Come on.
like
We are
watching
the
Meatbag.
ones sitting up late. You guys should be fresh and awake now.
Snakers has just walked off from Shimboy and has found a team looking the complete other way. These nades. Can he actually just 1v2 this team out of nowhere?
They just don't care, do they?
Oh, you have 4 more nades. Why are you running away? Just keep lobbing them.
Are you scared, Snagers?
You could have got done.
Why are you so scared, bro? Here we were having expectations of them being able to
I
do
thought he was just going to walk in and just kill them. So easy. But he gives up.
Yeah, I didn't want to overcommit to it. Maybe
Goes
his
for the
team was
safer
like, come on, man,
plans.
3 in a row. We don't want to go... I mean, maybe that's the thing. They have a chance to get 4 wins in oh my lord, these circles.
It's gonna
They have
be
a
hard
chance
with
to
that.
get 4 wins in a row, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
And, they can beat the record.
At this point, if I'm playing, my one thought is, what's the record? Can I beat it?
Yeah,
'Cause,
exactly.
I mean, we know how far ahead they are.
So for Snakers and
So
Shimbo,
that's what they've got to play. Yeah.
might as well say. I mean, also, think about it this way. I'm pretty sure Snakers either has turned 18 this year or will in the beginning of next year. And I mean, there's a reason they're called the Cadets. They were playing competitive PUBG up until the rule was made that you have to be over 18 to play tournaments. So every single chance they get to, I mean, not of course they have kind of solidified how good they are with how the leaderboard looks right now. But every single chance they get to improve even more, impress even more, I think they'll be doing everything they can to use that. You never know when the TO of some organization or owner of some organization he just casually drops by. Oh, there's a tournament going on. What's going on in here? And then these guys then they come in and see 2 guys who are just trolling. Then they haven't seen the leaderboard because it was in the middle of the game. So always even though it's fun sometimes when I feel like when it's competitive tournaments and stuff, always try your best. You never know who's watching.
Yeah, it's like any job. Yeah, the one thing you want is a really nice looking resume. And if you can say to a team, I won the most games in Wingman. I had the biggest win streak in Wingman. I had the most points in a single game in Wingman. You're going to be looking pretty good when you come to that team.
And it's something that'll be highlighted both by you, obviously other people will see it, and tournament organizers will be tweeting about it. And then it's good. It's good reputation, especially for, as I said, a player who's right now trying to build up it's essentially his university degree to gaming.
Yep.
He's finishing right now, right? So next year, once he's of age, then believe me, with how these guys have been playing, there's going to be offers coming in all over the place.
Yeah, this is a fight that didn't happen. We saw Snakers make the push and not quite commit to it versus mixed results. And if they can't win this fight, it might come back to bite them. There's a portable red zone in the air as they lob nades all over the place towards mixed results, and it's just forcing the players back. I mean, obviously you can't run into that area with all the nades around.
He had a pen and he didn't throw it.
Go full baseball, just whack the nade back.
You can do that.
You can hit
possible.
it, but it doesn't really do anything.
Well, it does throw it away. It does bounce it away.
I've never done this in my life.
Nope, I've never either. I've tried it, and I've died many times trying it. But like with a friend where we stood on a custom server, just try to hit them. It is possible. I've seen it done. I've just never succeeded in doing that.
But I mean, they're in a rough spot, Snakes and Shimbo. If they can get out of this and turn it into like a top 5, it'd be absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, everyone's playing so passive. Look at this.
I mean, it's like there's there's a squad in that compound because both teams have just taken a house each and just decided they're not going to fight.
These guys are proning on a rock.
And it's working.
And on top of each other in a game with nades. That is as suicidal as anything I've ever seen.
I mean, they got 2 kills, so they must be doing something right, I suppose.
Yeah, true.
Or they got lucky.
Snakers throwing some smokes, maybe block off some mission, hoping that the other guys in the compound will fight off each other.
And now we've got 4 duos in that north side
And
and one place.
look who's in the center. Look who I talked about coming into this game. Average Joe, center position. They were doing good on the wrangle. I said they should get a good finish off of their Miramar games. No matter what happens here, at least they're in the placement point.
Yeah, but they've only got the 1 kill so far, and we do say how important those kills are. So if from this position they can't turn it into a win, I mean, it's a game lost, not a game won.
Yeah.
We saw, I think it was DA in the league section. They had this exact circle. They were in this exact position, and they only came 3rd or 2nd in the end. But and they had like 2 kills. And yes, I mean, coming 2nd sounds good, but because of how kill heavy this point system was, I think they were only actually 5th in terms of points in that game.
Shinboy cleared out the compound. He's going to be happy with that. Unfortunately, Snakers did go down.
And he's got another duo to fight as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. So Roto, they've been following the kill feed, and we're like, oh my God, why did he have to survive?
But this is where maybe it's an even fight now. With,
Yeah,
with just the one of them up.
maybe that's how you even things out. Just removing some of the players. Seems like there's a guy who's infiltrated their compound. They have no idea. Literally sitting in the same building. Now it does get the knock onto Jason, able to find the flush as well. Spotted mid-air, not able to take him down just yet. A lot of jump shooting coming in at 15 bullets and 15 HP for Crab. Jumps all over the place and he gets taken down. That, my friends, was not it.
I mean, that was really well worked by Talents. He was able to use to find when one player was on his own. Grabs the kill for free.
Wait. Does he survive this?
No way he does this again. No way. There's one player. He was about to get 4 kills on his own. He gets the flush as well. So at worst, he's got 3 kills already.
Could that still go down?
And he's repositioned as well. So Bash has absolutely no idea where he is now.
Wow, he actually lived through that. I mean, in all fairness, I was just going to say it before. The way Just W pushed that, I mean, it isn't their name, I guess, but they literally ran on towards this building from the worst side to the possible to push it from.
Yeah, but I mean, at that situation when you know there's a fight going on, you just push it because none of those players are going to be expecting 2 more people to walk up to the party.
Yeah, but you can't peek in anywhere other than that one door. And when they split on each side of the building, they just open themselves up to being taken out.
You just have to go in as a duo.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what they did wrong. They should have pushed the same side of the building.
It's one of those ones where it doesn't really matter which entrance you go through. As long as you go through as a duo and you just trade that knock, immediately you've just won. So it didn't quite happen for them. But I mean, they are both still in the circle, both still in a decent position. But you have to think, I mean, it's so much better position if you're 2 up and you didn't have a solo showing with you.
Speaking of taking fights as a solo, not sure why Hades didn't just completely and utter spray that car to pieces instead of doing like 3-round bursts with an AK. But his teammate did go down, unfortunately. He will have to make the rest of this on his own, and he has so much room out on the eastern side. He should be all right for now.
Yeah, that game is making me look a bit silly. We said how weird that push was when they came down the hill, and somehow they've made it work.
Yep.
I mean, they should never have been allowed into that compound, but they used that to their advantage. They won the gunfight there. I think they actually used cadets to take out the team to their north, and then wiped out the remainers. And now all of a sudden they've got half the circle to themselves.
Sometimes you get, I mean, just as much as you can get circles, sometimes you don't get circles, but you have a lot of other things working in your favor. And that's, you got to seize it. I mean, as you said, I mean, it's an 18-game tournament, or in this case 12. If you don't make the most of whatever breadcrumbs you're given, you will not win the tournament. I mean, it's pretty simple. You gotta, every single small shift you get in your favor, every single time you see a vehicle in rotation where you have a chance to shoot a guy, if you whiff those shots, if you don't make the proper rotation, you essentially lose out on what could have been your win.
Yeah, I always say there are 2 types of games in PUBG. There's the one where nothing goes your way and you salvage things. And there's the one where you get your luck. And in those games, you have to maximize them. And that's exactly what they've done. They got the luck. I mean, I say luck.
They were lucky not to be killed. Let's be honest.
They were lucky to get into that compound, but they used that perfectly to get now into the top 5. They've already got 2 or 3 kills to their name. And they've got 1 person across the road.
Yeah.
And they're the only duo left alive. So if they can turn this into a win, that is the perfect example of taking that luck and maximizing it.
Yeah. Could not agree with you more. Now, as you said, 4 solos and them just kind of chilling and waiting for that final circle to go somewhere. They wanted to go on the northern side of the road. Obviously, I think that's why Sordo has pushed across the street to make sure that that if it does go north, he will have like the surprise element, and then L&D can try and hold off instead of them kind of being caught in the corner. Because if it does go north, he will automatically be close to the center, which would be pretty nifty, and it does.
There we go.
Circle center will go on the northern side. I would assume Sorgo to stay,
Yeah, if he just
and
sneaks in
LND
or
can stay up
stays
there as
down,
well.
yeah.
Yep.
Even if he's not standing up and not doing anything this circle, next circle, he becomes crucial to their win. He becomes the
for
person
sure.
that prevents any of those players in the compound from doing anything to get towards the next circle.
LND goes Ragamuffin. I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
here. And then he just has to pop out of nowhere with all the info that he's been able to provide LND. And then,
Good old bait and switch.
Yep. And then you hop out and say, ba-boom, and you kill them all. You don't
But
have to say
actually,
ba-boom.
I kind of like Lowboy's position here. But if he can survive Zoro, if Zoro doesn't see him, then he can sort of abuse the fact that Zoro is going to be focused on the compound.
Yeah, there's already one across. That's true.
I mean, he's the one that's made it. He's the one that now needs to find a way to take out one of those duo players, but crucially, after the players from the compound are gone. Because if he can do that and then get the drop on the duo, suddenly he's in a sick position where he's in basically a 50-50 to win the game.
You would assume so. Now, LND, what do you do from here? What can you do from here? This game has been dragged out a little. There was a lot of action before, and now, of course, because we killed off so many people in the mid-game, we find ourselves with a pretty damn open end game.
Yeah, we hit the calm before the storm right now, where all those players are either in the circle or have a safe way in. So it's all about looking about where do they go next? Where does the 3 people in the compound go next? Because this circle, realistically, isn't going to go to the compound anymore. And best case, if it does, the center of the next circle is going to be on the road anyway, so you're still going to be in a rough spot. So Hades, trying to work his way around, think around the outside of the building, might expose himself if he's not careful. But if he can just stay there and LND and Zoro get distracted by the 2 in the other building, suddenly he can get the drop on one of them. Suddenly he can find a way across the road if he has some utility.
Well, that circle's going to be right in the middle, and as you can see, it's going to be those compound people who will have to make the first moves. Of course, Sordo will have to push further forward as well, but he does still have that ridge line that he can hide behind.
I'm curious what Biersch does. I think he's just going to work his way inside the building, because if he goes outside, he gets killed by the duo instantly, but now...
He knows he's there, though. I was just going to say, he must know that Bias is there, and he does find the kill. 4 kills for T-Plants.
I mean, that was a very slow 1v2, but technically, that was his second 1v2 in that compound. So massively impressive by Talents to not only get his team into the top 4, but to get... I mean, it makes sense that it's Talents, right?
I guess that does make sense. That's just a T-Plants.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it is. I have absolutely no idea. But
We can
Talents
call them Talents.
to me.
That makes sense. I just don't know why P would be an A, but that's fair enough.
I mean, people always do that. We just throw a random letter in.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That is true.
The Romans did it. They did a V instead of U's.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like he's a special type of Roman.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There you
go. There's no other explanation.
Exactly.
Hate's gonna prone down. He's been spotted out. So
hit your shot, Zoro. Hit your shots. He doesn't hit shots.
That hurt my soul.
Oh,
ow!
My everything hurts right now. As Zoro goes down, he was in the perfect position to clear out this side. I still think LND's in a great position, provided he can take out these 2 solos. He should be able to get Talents down now. So it's all about Lowboy, but Lowboy gets the drop. Can he get the shots in? LND has more HP, but he's completely in the open. They're going to fight for this rock. The winner at this rock wins the game. But Lowboy has the best position. Can he get this drop? No, he can't. LND lands the shots as he peeks over the hill. 4-kill win to Die Gaming, turning that small second of luck going into the compound into a win. I'm impressed. Zoro, yes, you whiffed your shots, but your teammate came out in clutch. LND with the 3 kills in the end. There we go.
I think he gotta find himself a new teammate.
I mean, Zoro's going to be full of praise, I think.
Sordo was also the one to get rest inside that compound, and he was the one to get to the compound like a minute after they got under fire for I don't know how long.
I don't know how he made it, but he did, and they took that and they turned it into a win. So
they did.
Consider me impressed.
Yes.
Don't know how it happened.
Nope, me neither. They had
I'm lost for words.
They had everything going against them, including themselves at some points, but they did manage to come up with a win. Impressive. Goes to show everyone can win in these type of tournaments. I mean, not everyone, but they were essentially the ones to finish out cadets and push down from that northern side and get the win off of it.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have an amazing amount of kills, only the 4, but I mean, when you win,
doesn't matter. 14-point game.
Yeah, 14 points is massive. That's, I mean, I can't remember exactly where they're on the leaderboard, but if you're in the top 16 and you get 14, bottom 16 rather, and you get 14 points, suddenly
you're in the money.
You're in the money. Yeah. So, I mean, wherever they are on the leaderboard, that's a massive game for them.
I will put it this way, though. I have seen cleaner wins.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say.
There were a lot of interest. I mean, and then, of course, I mean, it goes to show, it kind of shows us, not why, but the fact that we have 2 leagues, a pro and an open one, there's a level difference in play. For some of these players, there's a reason that cadets can play as well as they do here. They would not have been able to do the same had they been in the Pro Wingman tournament. And I like the fact that we can see an overall level in this tournament be as high as it is, and know that there's still a level above that these guys can get to. Maybe it's like, how do you peak fights? How do you rotate? It's the small things, but that's what, like, now these guys have they obviously have more than the basics down, but they have the ground level, and some are really good at different things. It's just, I mean, that's where it gets really difficult to step it up from there. But guys, we're going to take a short break. 2 games of Erangel coming your way soon, so we can figure out who's going to go away with the top of the prize pool. We'll take a break. Be right back.